Okay, today we'll be carving a beaver. I have a rough sketch here. This is 1 by 1 inch basswood. So let's get started. I think I'll start off where the head is and just start carving it back a little bit. I make these rough sketches just to get an idea of what I want to do, but ultimately I just kind of go by feel and try to feel it out as I go and make decisions based on what it looks like. So let's round off the top of the head a little bit and the sides of the face. And then let's actually make a little cut here. That'll be the bottom of the face. And a cut here. And let's cut in a little bit here, but we don't want to fully eliminate. I think we don't fully want to eliminate the area because I think I want the teeth to hang down a little bit. Okay. I don't actually like how short these legs are, so I'm going to go a little bit more than that. Cut away the bottom here. And that'll sort of define where the bottom of the feet are. So, like I said, these are more guidelines than fast rules for how we want to make this beaver. So they do have little ears. You don't have to define them very much, but there should be something. Some sort of ears going on. So what we'll do is we'll just put a couple of little points for ears here. Cut that out and cut out on the other side. Oh. And then kind of clean this up. Okay. And let's remove some of this wood here and clean this up. Okay, let's remove a little bit here and give these ears a little bit more prominence. But again, they don't really have big ears, so you just have to get something there that suggests that they have ears. And honestly, if you didn't cut any ears in, probably no one would notice. Because again, beaver ears are so small. Okay. Now, we're going to whittle away to sort of a blunt point on this thing's face. So just keep removing as you go. Keep removing. And it'll be sort of a, like I said, a blunt point. See that? How it's kind of a wedge, but it's not really, it's not sharp. Okay. Then we want to cut in the teeth. Now I've just made some scratchy lines here, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to cut in here and we're going to cut in here. Want to make sure we go deep there. Then we're going to cut down just slightly below the neckline. And we're going to remove this material here. And then we're just going to make some little cuts to show that these teeth are really sticking out. Okay. So let's remove that. Make this cut here. Okay. So now we kind of have the face here, and I'm going to remove a little bit of these markings here, but kind of don't have to because it's going to be painted. Okay. Now we're going to remove a little bit here to give him more of a pointed face. But the main thing is you want these teeth here. And Beaver's teeth are yellow, but they don't look good if you paint them yellow. So you should paint them white. Excuse me. Okay, so remove some of this here. And now we're going to go around to the back and we're going to cut the back in. And he's just going to be standing there, I think, on his own 2 feet, not sitting or anything. And then we'll remove this here, like that. And then we'll do one here, like that. Clean this up. And then we'll go around to this other side here. Cut this part out. Okay. Now, round this off on the back here. Don't really want sharp edges. Kind of pointless to have. And then let's define a little bit of a neckline here. Don't have to get too carried away with it, but you know, just something to suggest that this guy has a neck. Okay, we cut that out. Cut this out here, clean this up. And then we'll cut across. Okay. So here's what he looks like now. Okay. Now, you can either put the hands in front or you can just have them hanging down. I might just have them hanging down. I have them drawn here, but you know what? Let's get rid of this. This right here. In fact, let's cut back a little bit so that his chin kind of has an overhang here. I do like to make him a little bit chubby, but you do want him to have some sort of chin if you can. Okay. I'm going to get rid of these pencil lines. Okay, now let's carve down the side. Like this, and like this. We'll just... We won't really define the hands so much here. We'll just make them fairly simple, because this is a simple carving. And then we'll cut this out. And then this area here, we're going to do the same on the other side. Cut down, give him a little circular hands. Again, he's too small to put much detail into. So I don't really bother too much with the, you know, putting detail on the hands or anything. Okay, there's this and this. And then, oh, cut a little too far there, that's okay. That could probably be removed anyway. Let's remove some of that. And get rid of some of this pointed area. Now, before we carve in the feet, the main thing that a beaver is known for is its big tail. So, on the back side, we're going to do that. I'm actually going to draw it, but it's just going to go straight up the back. Okay? Like this. We're just going to carve that out. So carve a line. I might have gone a little high with my line, but and just carve it like this. And then, as always, V cut it out. Okay. And then what you can do is you can put those little lines on it. To show that it's a beaver tail. So just do real thin gouges. Okay, and then let's dig away some of this material here, make the hands a little more prominent. Okay, it's not too bad. And then we're going to do the feet. So make a cut across and then down. Okay, across and then down. Okay, and then you're going to want to do a V cut to distinguish the front of the feet. Oh, that popped out of there pretty good. Kind of nice. All right. And that is our beaver. So now we're going to paint it. So we're going to take real brown, as we usually do. We're going to take real brown. I like to use gloss because it holds up really well. Gonna pour some onto this, and then we're gonna take a paintbrush and we are gonna cover this entire thing in brown. We're gonna go thick as always, but we're going to smooth it out. And you'll see through it, that's fine. It doesn't have to be perfectly covering, it just has to be brown. And then we'll be using two other colors, which will be black and then white. Black will be for the eyes, nose, and tail. Bump the camera there. Eyes, nose, and tail, and then white will be for the teeth. And this is a fairly simple carving you can do, but it makes a nice little decoration, and it's just fun to do. It's a nice craft. So yeah, let's coat this thing thoroughly and then smooth it out. I'm going to coat this tail, even though I'm going to be painting it black, I think. Still going to coat it because it dries fairly quickly, and it's a good way to sort of prime it. Okay, almost done with the brown. Okay. Run it down onto the pedestal a little bit, because who cares? You can always paint that later. Paint it gray, or paint it like a, like a rock or a log or something. But right now we're just focused on the beaver. Okay. Oh, just a little bit on top. Let's get that. Okay, so I think that's about it. Now we're going to get some black, and I have some black here. I think I need to, this is the big bottle. Take off this little lid here. That's probably good enough. Ain't gotta be perfect, right? Okay, I'm going to pour out some onto this, and then I'm going to take a more fine brush, and I'm going to dip wherever that black is. Okay, I have so many blacks there that I can't figure out which one. Okay, dry enough to paint. So what we'll do is we'll just put a dot, and then we'll put another dot. Those are the eyes. Okay, and then we'll put big round nose. That looks nice. Okay, now let's go around to the back, and we're going to paint up this tail. And you can see the brown's a little bit thin back here, but that's okay. You know, doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes I'll do multiple coats just to get it to really fill in. And let's get this little gouge here. Okay. And then that is it for the black. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the white, and you guessed it, we're just going to paint the teeth. So let's take a small fine brush, if I can find one. I think that'll do. Now I'm thinking I should have left that brown. Oh well. You can leave it brown or you can do it black, however you want to do it. But let's do the teeth here. So we got the teeth. Get them nice and white. Okay, and then you would want to put a line of black down the middle to really define it, but that is a beaver. That's how to carve a simple beaver. Thanks for watching.